let's
Yep.
start.
Okay, so we have our first applicant. We have Luis and Jose for 13 Maria Lane. They're returning. They had come to us on the 17th for a new garage addition, and we asked them to rethink the windows and the side of the new garage and asked them to return.
Right.
So Luis,
I'm sorry, what street is this?
13 Maria Lane, and is that Ossining?
Yeah.
Today is the 21st. Okay, got it.
Okay, so if everyone else could be mute except for whoever's going to present. Is that you, Luis?
Yeah, my question is, does everyone see the plans? Does everyone have?
Are you sharing your screen?
I don't know.
Or did you want me to share the screen?
Yeah, you can share the screen.
Okay.
I see everyone except I just don't see the plans. That's why I asked the question.
Give me 1 second. Can you see that? Can everyone see that?
Yeah, I see that. I don't. The only thing I don't see Jose on my screen. Is he around?
He's there, you don't need to see.
I'm here.
It's not everyone shows up. in the
Oh,
same-
okay. All right, no problem. So anyway, this is the first time I met Mr. DePoli or DePole.
Yes, Tom DePaul. He's the building inspector.
Hi, Tom. So anyway, so let me tell you what happened between the last meeting and this meeting. Myself and my intern architect went back to the site to double check a couple of things. So if you can concentrate on page 008 and A009, I think that covers the discussion that we had last time, which was in reference to the proposed west elevation and also the proposed north elevation. So what happened there was that on the north elevation, we added 2 windows, and on I believe on the west elevation, it was to show excuse me, I'm sorry. On the east elevation to show 2 windows as well and the door. Now, what happened was, and this is where Mr. DePole needs to pay a little attention, was that the survey I had is a title survey. I didn't have any spot elevations. So basically what we did is we contrived the Mason's line to figure out the difference in elevation between the garage floor, the existing garage floor, and the proposed new garage floor, which is supposed to match. So if you look on page 009, you will see a bottom of footing that we calculated based on, the information we took from the site. So one of the things I wanted to bring out was that I have the door on the right side, right, of the east elevation. But I'm not sure after I get the real elevations whether we should do a flip and put the door more to the south, because the elevation will be higher there than the infill we have to do in order to meet our footing requirements. Now, That discussion I have not had with Jose, because I think that originally, visually, he saw the garage floor kind of extending out to the north, kind of on an equal plane. But in reality, the site does slope. If you see the proposed north elevation on 009, you'll see that the elevation changes. That 00 you see on the right-hand side of the north elevation is the garage floor elevation. And then, like I said, using a mason's level to the best of our ability, kind of calculated where the rear of the new garage was going to be. The other thing, the windows are going to duplicate the existing double hung windows that exist on the property, and except that the sill height, because if you recall, Jose wants to use the rear room as a work area, kind of as a workbench area. So we placed the sill 48 inches above the finished floor, as opposed to a typical 36. I'll be honest with you, I haven't checked the 2020 code to see if that's legit. If it's not, we can lower it to 36. The reason I raised it to 48 was because if he has a 36-inch workbench and he put something on top, it doesn't necessarily need to appear on the window. And we didn't have any ideas of using frosted glass or anything like that. So that's basically it. I went over some things, and I guess I'm open to questions from this point on.
DZ, I'm sorry, can you repeat what the original comments were?
It was that
I think the north elevation
The
was
north
100%
elevation-
blank. There was
Yeah,
nothing
the
on the
north-
north
okay.
elevation.
the north elevation was blank, and the east elevation of the new addition only had one window and a door. So
Okay.
it was suggested that we just put a couple more windows in order to cover that area. Now, on the east elevation, the reason why the windows are far apart, again, is to give Jose a blank area there where he could work, as opposed to, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, we can move the windows, instead of 2 feet away from the edge, we can move it in more, et cetera, et cetera.
It might
But-
look nicer if you did that and balanced them. If you're gonna have the windowsill 12 inches above a workbench, doesn't seem like it's gonna get in the way of its work.
I'm sorry?
If you're gonna have the windowsill 12 inches over a work table, it doesn't appear that that would affect anything, and you may as well balance it in the room instead of, look to just push it to the edges.
Okay, well, when you say balancing in the room, you mean cut the space into 3 equal parts?
Now, look at the east elevation to the right side behind the garage
Right.
and balance them between the door and the 2 windows. Have a nice regular pattern instead of a big blank space in between 2 windows that are pushed to the sides.
Okay, so you're saying that the space between the edge of the new garage and the door to cut into 3 equal spaces?
I don't know if it has to be 3 equal spaces, but it might be more better balanced.
Can I suggest,
You broke
You
up, I
just-
can't hear you.
You just put yourself on mute, yeah.
yeah, the reason why I would like to keep those windows up far apart is because I have equipment that's very tall, and it takes like 8 to 9 feet wide. So if you distribute that space in the back, then I really have a chance of breaking those windows when I'm using the equipment. There's a lot of scrap and a lot of stuff that flies around. So I would like to have a longer wall so I could keep that equipment against that wall rather than having windows behind it when I'm cutting or soldering or doing anything of that nature, if that's not a problem.
I think that's okay. I just didn't realize that.
Yeah, that's the reason why I wanted more space between the windows. Since I have to have the 2 windows, I'd rather keep them as far apart as possible because I want to have at least 8 to 10 feet of wall where I could put the tall equipment there. And when I'm cutting and and soldering stuff, there's a lot of shrapnel that flies all over the place. It could easily break a window.
Okay,
Daisy, can you please scroll the front elevation for a moment, just so we can all look at that again?
The 008 page.
Oh, right there, you have it. Daisy.
Yeah,
Right.
the west elevation, you're saying.
All right, does any board members have comments?
No, I think that's fine.
I'm
There was,
okay with it.
there was a question about the entrance. You know, that was a little bit confusing. So we went back. If you look at the plan, you'll see that there is an 8-inch lip, like there's actually a stone, the entranceway is kind of stone. Let me see where it is. It's on page, give me one
It's
second.
okay, I think we're comfortable with
We're
this.
okay.
But yeah,
I
but
think
so
you're going
anyway,
to- you're going
yeah.
to be approved.
Yeah, so so we went back to double check to make sure that was kosher with that. And then on the, let me see.
It's okay, we're going
We're
to
okay
approve.
with it.
We're going to
Okay.
approve this.
Okay, now one last question. You know, this thing about, which I'll have to talk to Mr. DePaul about later on, but I have the door on the north side, on the east elevation, it's all the way on the right. But as you move, you know, towards the south, you don't need as many steps to get into the new garage. My question to you guys is, if I was to flip the door to the other side, does that make a difference to you? In other words, it's
What
the same.
elevation? What
Daisy,
elevation?
can you
The-
scroll back to the other
The
sheet?
009. See the door on the right-hand side?
Yeah,
Okay, what I'm saying is that's the lower elevation there. So if you go towards the left, it gets a higher elevation. So if I was to flip the door to the left side and move the windows, you know, to the right, so that I don't have to create as many steps to lead up to the new finished floor, and it makes it easier for Jose to bring stuff in and out of there. That's all. That was my question.
I mean, I think as long as you're keeping the fenestration quantity the same, I think that's
but I
fine.
think you
Right.
need to reflect that on the plan for it to be approved.
Yeah, no, I'll reflect that on the plan, but, and the other thing is that I will ask Jose exactly what area he needs for that equipment, you know, to work on that. And if I can kick in the windows more to the center, there's no problem with that. You know, it's just a question of function. It's not really, you know, to us, it doesn't. So if we can kick it in more, it'll even be more proportional to what was originally said.
Okay, but you're working on function, this board is looking at the aesthetics.
Next
So
to that,
we're okay with that, we would just ask you to draw it and show it to us.
Right, okay.
yeah, I'd rather keep the door where it is right now in the plan. It's more convenient for me there.
Okay. All right,
Okay, so the plan remains this, what you're submitting now, and that's what you're getting approved for.
that's correct.
Okay. All right, so you're all set.
Thank
Thank
you
you very much.
All
Good
right,
luck.
have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
very
Thank
much.
you, everyone.
Thank you,
Have a good
everyone.
night.
Thanks.
I just want, before, Mr. DePaul?
Yes, sir.
So what I'm gonna do is that, you know, I was concentrating a little bit on the aesthetics because of the board. Now I'm gonna review the sections that I have on the latter page, you know, in terms of the wall sections, because I'm gonna ask Jose to get an architectural survey so we can get more exacting elevations as to
Sir,
where.
let's take this conversation offline to keep the board moving, please.
All right, no problem. Good
Call me,
enough.
call me tomorrow. Can you copy
Yeah.
a phone number?
Yeah.
914-438.
Hold on 1 second. 914,
438
yeah.
6098.
7280.
No, the 438-6098 will
Oh.
work tomorrow.
Okay,
okay.
914-438-6098.
Yes, sir.
All right, great. Thank you, guys.
Take care.
All right, take care. Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night.
Okay, so we can head on to the next one. It's a return. Scott,
Good evening, everybody.
anyone else joining you?
I have Christian from my office on the call on the line as well.
Okay.
Hello.
You want to, hi, you want to share your screen?
Is this
So,
old line? Sorry.
yes, welcome back to Old Line. Can everyone see my screen?
No.
Uh-oh. Let me go back in, hit it again. Sorry. Okay. How about now? There we go. Okay, so can everyone see the screen now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Terrific. I am choosing to start on sheet A201 because that is perhaps where the first most significant of our architectural changes takes place. In our previous submission, the metal roofing that you see within this revision cloud had a much steeper pitch, resulting in deep window wells at a bedroom window of existing bedroom number 1, as well as the dressing hall, which is more centered on our addition. I then would like to show that you don't see per se the modifications that we've made to the pitch of the roof, but as a gentle reminder, as you drive up Old Lyme towards our house, you'll notice that we are creating an addition to the rear for a dining room that, as we circle to the back of our house, here's our significantly reduced pitched roof. So the client has opted to retain a metal standing seam on the shallow pitch. That will be an overbuild to the adjacent on left screened Three Seasons porch, and on the right-hand side, the dining room. So as this roof slides past the outer edges of those left and right volumes, that is where we have the overbuild, which was shown again on this sheet with the hatch. Okay. As far as the sections have now been, excuse me, while I attempt to remove this over. We'll zoom out a second. So now you can see on the top right, view J.9 proposed wall section at kitchen. We are keeping a flat ceiling across the addition as our kitchen reaches into the breakfast room. And that shows you now how we'll be doing the insulation and framing of that roof structure. And as it came to light in the last meeting, we were talking about what we were trying to do with the space. As things tend to happen for a reason, we did determine that we could now bring our hood exhaust directly through the space above so that we are not restricted and encountering bends as it would get underneath the structure at the existing rear of the house. Would you like me to go back to the rear elevation?
Yes, please. What about the window on the left of the screened-in porch, top left? Is that a shorter window? Is that roof covering the window? What's happening there? The singleton window.
Yeah, that is a small dormer that matches the window at the end gable.
I know, but is that window shorter? Is that what's happening where the roof hits that window?
I'm sorry, you're talking about the window labeled W2.
No,
Point.
Not
can you go
what-
back to
It's
the
not
back
what we're,
elevation?
yeah, it's on the rear elevation.
So
On the rear elevation.
Go down.
Okay, so on the left of the screened-in porch, second story roof, there's existing, there's a singleton window.
correct. So there's
Looks
just
like the roof is covering it.
It's not. So in the side elevation, there's a lower metal roof beneath it. That window exists above the garage. So you'll see our new mudroom entrance that's tucked between the back of the garage and our Three Seasons room.
So what looks like a shingle roof on the rear elevation in front of that window is really just the side of the Three Season roof.
But you're looking,
Yes, it's the dormer coming off of the Three Seasons room.
Okay.
If you
Oh,
want,
that arched,
Yeah,
that
the
arched
little-
one. Okay.
why don't I
A1.
jump back to the first floor plan just so you can see in plan what's
On
happening.
A1,
That's-
you see
that's-
the,
but it's on the second floor. I'm sorry, the second floor is one.
Right. I just wanted you to be able to see how far the Three Seasons room steps past that mudroom entry.
What page is that? I'm just looking on my own computer so I can enlarge it a little.
Sure. This is Christian. Do you know which sheet this is? This is A201. Excuse me. Is the plan,
Mm-hmm.
and then where I started was on the roof plan.
Yeah.
Oh, so that window is way back, so it's in that existing
Exactly.
vestibule? Okay,
Exactly.
It
Exactly.
looks like a 10 foot or more between the two.
okay, that explains it.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah, can you just go back to the rear elevation one last time? I think that's so much cleaner.
Yeah.
I mean, with a less steep roof.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Thank
I
you.
would agree. Comments, anyone? Brendan,
It looks good.
Travis? Okay.
Yeah, great.
It's good.
Okay, thank you. I
Yeah.
think it's a nice solution.
Terrific.
Scott.
Thank you for the feedback. Take care. Be well,
Have a good
everyone.
night. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay. Next application is David Graham, 251 Hamilton Road. Hi,
Hello.
David.
Hi,
Will you be sharing your screen?
not sure what that means. Are you expecting me to show you the artwork?
Yes, if you can't, then I will.
No, I don't have the artwork.
Okay, hold on
I
one
need your
second.
help on that.
Sure.
Everything's sideways.
I know, I just saw that.
Oh,
Okay. Okay, can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, so David, I'm gonna go down and you can just,
Okay, this is 251 Hamilton Road. The house was built in the 30s. It's a colonial. I did some work on the house in the 80s. And the clients just called me back, and on the left side, there is what back in the late 80s had been a screening porch that we made a kind of a den is now going to become what we're doing is on the second floor. We're taking the roof off, and we're
but before you go on, David, do you have any photos in this pack?
absolutely at the
Okay.
end. You want to go to those first?
Yeah.
Oh, that was it. These are neighbors.
Okay.
So that's not what you're looking for. Maybe. I
are
think
you still
before-
neighbors?
That's still neighbors.
Okay. This is the house?
Yeah. So the upper left is the structure that we're taking the roof off and putting a second floor on. And then the photograph, the upper right, shows you the front of the house. In the far corner is where we're doing the addition. And then at the bottom right, on the left, above the den that had been back in the 80s, a screened porch that got enclosed. There's currently a walk-in closet. And so what we're doing is we're putting a second floor on, and we're letting it express itself, its full two-storyness on the side and the rear. But on the front of the house, the concept is that if you look over to the right on the lower right photograph, there is a garage that has a 12 and 12 pitch. So we're basically mimicking that, bringing it over, and making it like a half story, which you'll see when we go back to the drawings.
Is this still the house?
Yeah, that's on the lower right, that is the rear. On the right side is we're going to put a second story on. Above that, on the upper right, is the side view of the building where we're taking the roof off and making it sort of kind of a two-story house. And then the upper left is the straight on in the back, and on the right side is where we're doing our work. And the lower left is the opposite side of the house.
Okay, do you want me to
That's,
start here?
that's the rear, where it's just a two-story building with a dormer. That's the side where we're making it like a salt box. You know, you can see the dotted line where the old roof was. And in the front, that's where we're making it like a half story. We're trying to have a genuflect. And we're taking the garage roof on the right side and sort of repeating it, but up a half a level. And then this is the floor plan. They currently have an existing bath that's shared with an adjacent bedroom. So they wanted to have a proper master bath. And so we're putting that to the rear. We have the double window looking private backyard. And then in the front, we're doing a dormer, and we're sneaking in the lower roof, 2 walk-in closets.
Do you want me to go to a particular elevation?
You can
Well, I
just
guess
go
this
for
is
them
probably the
again.
most important one because that's the street. So now I guess I hear any thoughts or comments or questions.
Can you just scroll the other elevations for a minute, just to see again? What's on the lower right of that one? There's a panel or something? What's happening?
That's existing there. There's pilasters and header, there's a header panel. And I'm just putting a crown molding with a shelf, you know, to cap it off when we take the roof above off.
Is the crown molding on other windows on the rest of the house?
No, but that lower right is an existing assembly.
Right.
So,
And so
yeah,
okay, so the,
it's basically, we're keeping it, and we're just, it's a kind of trim just to, now that things have been interrupted above, just to, you know, cap it off. But that's a very different element. That's a conservatory element, where all the other windows are just, you know, punched out windows in a house.
right, well, if they're all existing, then this matches what's directly on this part of the house.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm fine. Comments, anyone?
No, looks
Yeah, I
good.
think that's good, yeah.
Looks good.
All right, thank you.
Okay, David, you're all set.
Okay, thanks.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Okay, so the next one is 91 Bedford Road for a sign. And JJ and Joe is Pavlacci are on. You're on mute.
Good evening.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, good. I'm JJ Tavalacci here with my father, Joe. Tonight, we are proposing some exterior signage for 91 Bedford Road. We have a main entrance sign, and as well as 3 future commercial tenant facade signs.
Did you want me to share the screen?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Bill Spade and his wife Kiko, they designed the plans with the colors and notes of the materials.
Keiko.
Took pictures of some neighboring signs across the street and next door.
Just, can you just locate this for me?
It's right, it's the new large building across the street from Walgreens.
Oh, okay.
Is where the garden shop or flower was? Or-
Yeah.
Yeah, where the Whispering Pines burned down.
Mhm.
Okay.
I haven't been up there in ages. Is it built? Is it up? Is it done?
It's up. We're 90% done.
Wow.
Good.
Great.
So I'm just, you presented 3 plans, so I'm just gonna show all 3.
Sure.
So I'm sorry, is it all, you may have said this, is it all retail or there's some residents?
There's 14 apartments.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And there's
Okay.
3 commercial storefronts.
Okay.
Do you have any photographs of how it looks today?
I can't remember. No, not at the moment. but you're more than welcome to come over or drive by.
Might be online.
Oh, yeah, you know, is it?
91 Bedford.
See, it's on Google.
You can share a photo.
The one?
They're renderings, I think. These are all renderings that,
Google has just started
Yeah, Google
construction.
just has the construction, yeah.
Yeah, they just.
there are some bigger renderings if you want to look at the renderings. They'll give you a better scope of the, it
Can you
looks quite
scroll?
big, yeah.
How's that looks like now?
Can you guys see that?
You pull back a little bit, you get a lot of glare.
A lot of glare, right?
Yeah, twist the thumb
Yeah.
sideways maybe.
Try to get it sideways.
That was,
Well,
I
is it-
remember the drawings, it was a nice project.
Is
Yeah.
it pretty accurate to the renderings, I'm assuming,
Yeah, it looks like.
that I'm looking at? Yeah.
Okay, so you're looking to do a monument sign and tenant signs?
Yeah, so there's a front entrance sign coming in. And then there's on the facade of the 3 commercial storefronts, we're proposing some signs for future tenants.
Do you have any lighting? Do you have any gooseneck lighting, or are you trying to do backlit, or no signs of, no lighting at all?
Well, there's light posts on the new sidewalks. So those will light it up.
Good.
So right now, what you have in the renderings, they're not very detailed, the signs. Or is that what it's gonna, it's very hard to tell, kind of. You have one that just says cafe.
There's AZAC, he's just looking to do decal letters and just flat plastic signs, or what are you looking to do?
Yeah, pretty much using the AZEC material, and whichever tenant comes in, we would install just plain lettering.
And what about the 91 Bedford sign? You're not engraving anything or doing something? where it's
I don't think
like-
that's in the middle
No, the 91, but I don't think that's
Oh.
engraved. I think that's,
of, no, it's not great.
that'll be an applied.
Is it like a direct applied or pin mounted?
It'll be painted on.
Yeah, whether they paint it or cut them out and apply it out of a material.
It just seems like the sign itself, the structure of this whole sign is nicely done with the stone veneer and the you know, the trim and all that. But I feel like at least your 91 Bedford should have some depth to it, or, you know, whether it's inverted or something. rather than
beautiful
just
structure.
painted
Note on
on,
that.
because everything else is just not, you know, you're doing a stone cap, so I would go a little extra, you know.
Yeah, it's a handsome
on-
building. It seems like you're making a beautiful sign and then stopping and cutting yourself short with the tenant identification and the building identification.
Or we can lower the stone. Or just put it on post.
What?
No, I think the stone is nice.
No,
And
everything's nice. It's-
yeah, and I'm assuming that it's going to be a horizontal stack stone and not vertical
Right.
stone on the left. Yeah, but I think they're just saying
We're just
where the
talking about the
lettering
lettering.
is. Yeah, that's not as developed.
We
Yeah, I
like
think
the,
it's
we
a
like the
clarification.
monument sign, yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, Bill's not able to join us tonight, but I can get some clarification and maybe some more notes on the 91 Bedford.
That
to
applies
clarify.
also. It's a little hard for us to judge on the signs above each retail location because it's not very detailed. So on the next page, I think it is. So on the signs that you have pointed out,
Yeah, if you're gonna make wood signs, on the left it says wood signs, that would be very nice, but it would be even nicer if you had some relief to the letters, if they were something that had relief that was applied, or if it was engraved, but something with texture and shadow.
Sure,
do you
well, if
plan, do you
you,
plan for them to be the same, each sign the same in terms of lettering, or are you going to allow each retailer to have their own logo? So it's just hard for us to judge right now.
I would keep them all
all
consistent and
Okay.
keep them the same. And if you go back to the sign for Old Stone Trattoria across the street, I would do something similar to that with the engraved, with the wood sign with the engraved,
Mhm.
it's like on the,
Go down a little more.
yeah, maybe go back up to the first picture.
It's page 4. Mm.
I think that he has that engraved, and I would,
He does, and
Do
there's a lot
something.
of that in town. If you would stay in the spirit of
yeah,
that
I would, yeah, absolutely.
and fit it into the space of your building and keep the monument you've designed, it's quite handsome.
I mean, even the town and country cleaners in the hilltop, that looks like it's engraved. That's below, Daisy.
Yeah,
Those
so
look like-
we would stay
yeah.
consistent with that look.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's,
Yeah,
yeah, I
that's
think those are
nice.
nice, yeah.
And so what would you do for like the tenant inserts on the monument sign? Because would those be the same and you just change them out for an engraved?
Yeah, well,
yeah.
it's, his note on there is AZAC sign plates with applied letters. So I don't know how the wood would hold up there, but
Would probably hold up similarly, but even if you used, AZAC, maybe even have some letters that have some thickness to them, have some texture,
mhm.
instead of just something flat with just rub-on letters.
We're just trying to do the structure itself justice, which is, quite nice.
Well, you'd be building more curb appeal. And what happens if a tenant shows up and wants some sort of a logo or branding identification? Tom, do they need to come back then if they're not just going to put simple letters? Because it's hard to pre-approve that when you don't know what's
We would come
coming.
back, but we don't really want it that.
Mm. Did you hear that?
No,
Well, if a tenant insisted on having their own logo, then we would come back to you guys for that. But
Well,
otherwise, we would want to keep everything the
Consistent.
same lettering and. the
for
same-
instance, though, on the cafe sign on page 2, I mean, that name could be quite long there, and cafe is, you've put in something that has 4 letters, but go up, Daisy. Keep going up. So the one that I'm looking at.
Oh,
says
you know what it
cafe on
was
it.
is Bill Spade told me to eliminate those and give these in today.
That's the
He
main.
gave me this
Oh, okay.
morning.
That's why.
I see. Okay. So I'm looking at something different.
is this monument sign designed by Bill Spade or by the signage company?
This was designed by Bill Spade.
Okay, yeah, it looks nice. It's in the spirit of your building, so,
It's
I
odd
think
that
we're
he
just
put the
asking
stone
you to-
vertically.
yeah, right. It's the computer, I guess.
Yeah, that was
The
it.
computer can change that. Anyway.
So I think the only thing we're asking is if you can do some sort of engraving or texture on the lettering in both the building and the monument sign.
Yeah, the building, yeah, that's what we're planning on doing originally with this design. And we'll speak to Bill regarding the main entrance sign with that lettering, with the
Yeah.
engravement,
Yeah,
and we can have him update that.
Okay, so I'm going to put you on the agenda for May 5th.
Okay,
Okay. And if Bill can just get me those plans 1 week prior to, so I can send to the board.
sure.
All right.
When are you
Yeah.
scheduled to open and lease your building?
Say it again?
When are you scheduled to open and start leasing your building?
well, we are presently. The
Oh, you are?
apartments are being leased now. And we were talking to a tenant on one of the commercial spaces now.
Great. Okay, thank you. So we'll see you
All
at
right,
the next
thank you.
meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
Okay, so our next one is 34 Overlook, Winters and Blau.
That's us.
Hello, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Good.
I can share my screen here.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Okay, how's that?
Good.
Okay, let me just minimize this. Okay, 34 Overlook is, we're doing a series of pieces of work to the house that include, and highlighted here, extending the dining room to be flush with the back of the house, squaring off the corners at the kitchen, and adding a mudroom off the existing family room, sort of mudroom entry, and bringing it out 4.5 feet or so, and then creating a new walkway from the driveway here, because this is a very strange condition. So we're making some pretty nice improvements to the home. Let me get into showing them to you.
Do you have photographs? Do you have photographs of the house that we could?
I do. If I could, because the photographs are kind of harsh to look at. If I could just show you the existing conditions and where we're doing the work. Okay, so the front elevation, this is what we're changing with the existing family room and the mudroom entry, which is tucked in here. This is the back left side of the house. We're taking these doors and turning it into a window. Here's a side elevation coming down the driveway right here. This is the family room and the garage underneath. This is what we're changing. And in this area, the existing garage, the family room on top, and then this is the kitchen with the 45-degree angle walls that we're going to fix. And this is the dining room that we're pulling out. Let me take you down to the photographs. Okay. This is existing rear of the home. This we're rebuilding at the family room, rebuilding this wall and roof at the kitchen, and pulling this area out here. This structure right here is going to get pulled out 4 feet or so, and a covered entry, and make a cut in the retaining wall so they can walk from here to the mudroom directly. And this is the existing mudroom entry and garage family room space, which is pretty hard to see from the front of the house. I think that's it for the photograph. Here's another picture up here on the top left.
You have neighbors? Are these some of these neighbors?
Yeah, these are, you asked for photographs of the, from across the street and from the side. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, let me take you to the, go quickly to the floor plans. Okay. Down here, the basement level, we're going to tie into the existing foundation and basement through here. And here's a door set back from the edge of the garage with the roof coming right to the edge. UPS packages, et cetera, would be delivered there. Stairs upstairs into the kitchen, mudroom, family room area. That's the existing demo. And this is the new structure that this is what we're adding right here. And this is all existing footprint right here, all this in here. Okay, this shows the diagonal corners of the kitchen being squared off. And this point from here to here is being brought out flush with the back of the house. So the whole patio here is a little bit more accessible and usable. Okay. The proposed elevations, that's a roof plan. Okay, so the front elevation is this. We're taking the existing windows and matching them as you move across. We're creating this large dormer in the front here to mimic what's going on in the back, similar to that. And up top here this is a sliding door that's existing into the kitchen, and then we're taking out a sliding door right here, putting in a window. Okay. This is the side of the home from the driveway view. That's the mudroom entry right there. And there's a retaining wall right here that we're cutting out to make access. And the floor of the garage is basically in line with the grassed area. So big windows, lots of light coming in here. And then on the back of the house, we're doing windows similar to the ones in the front, large windows in the back. This would be the TV wall behind here. And the kitchen, we're squaring off large windows and high transom windows. And this is just the elevation brought forward.
Comment, anyone?
Yeah, looks nice.
Yeah.
We just look at the front again.
Sure.
So on the left side of the new area, it looks like there's some shed dormer on the second floor.
Yes.
And that didn't seem to be coming through on the back elevation. So I'm just trying to understand what's going on with that.
You have a good eye. And I noticed that earlier today, so I fixed it if I can. Do you mind if I show you what I did?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So the doghouse dormer on the side over here is very small, and there's a larger dormer to the rear of the house. What we were trying to do is not make an impact because there are windows on the side of the house right here. There are 2 bedrooms. So I realized I'd left a piece of that shed dormer of a previous design version that I didn't take out. So I mirrored that piece right here. And if we go back to the other elevation, you see it right there.
Yeah, I think that looks a little nicer than the shed.
Yeah, I was surprised to see that there. So I addressed it kind of while we were talking.
Perfect.
Earlier. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Since I've never sat with you guys before, what is the procedure, and do you guys get back to us?
So now it's going to go in the basket for the building inspector to review. Building permits get reviewed in the order that they come in.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure when you applied, but so yeah, so right now it'll go in the basket for the building inspector to review. If there's any comments that he has, we'll email you. Yeah, and that's about it, but we'll be in contact.
Okay.
What is the current kind of expected review time from the time the permit's in?
I'm gonna say about 8 to 10 weeks.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Great.
All right. Have a good night.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Okay. Next one is 58 Laurelton Road, and Rob is on. You're on mute, Rob.
Okay,
There
sorry.
you go. How you doing? Are
Okay,
you going to share your screen? or
No,
want
you
me?
have to do yours. Thank you.
Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm gonna just scroll down and you can do your thing.
Okay.
Where is Laurelton?
in Stanwood in Mount Kisco.
Okay, so
Okay, so basically, right now, if you look on the plans there, there's a existing what they call patio, but it's a destroyed patio. Is where we're gonna be putting the garage up on the top as you drive straight up.
is this the house or is this?
Yes, that is my house now in the midst of construction.
Okay.
So if you look at the little roof line there, sorry, going back, just keep in mind that, no, the lower one, the middle one, we mimic the garage that we want to add on, a freestanding garage to basically what the house looks like. So if you want to scroll down, that's a neighbor on the left. It's a neighbor on the right. If you go down a little bit further, we can look at the front view of the garage, which is straight. If you look at the left, I don't know if you can enlarge that a little. That's what the garage is going to look like. So we kind of mimic the house on the garage, and the upstairs would be storage because we have no garage or storage in the house. We have no attic in the house. So that would be our storage, and it'll be a 2-car garage. So basically everything will be the same siding, the same colors, the same windows throughout the space.
Is this a detached object? You're just building.
Yes, it's a deep, yeah, if you go down to the plans,
There's a site plan? I guess we skipped the site plan.
It's on page 6.
There it is. Can you go back, Daisy? There it is. Can you blow
on
that
page
up, please?
A1,
On the right side? Yeah.
go up a little bit. Yeah, that's where the garage will be put right there.
So what's in between the?
That's going to
garage
be
and the
like a
house?
little patio. You walk up the stairs to go to the right to the backyard, and the left is to get into the garage.
But it's. Okay.
What's the distance between the corner of the 1-story piece and the garage? Looks pretty close.
If you can,
But you have a connector of a brick wall? Is that what I'm seeing?
no, right now our walls are actually falling. They're all old stone walls. So we're going to redo the stone wall there. When you walk up the steps on the left there, if you can enlarge that a little bit. Right, so it's hard to see, but between where it says 2-story and the garage, we want to put a patio over there.
Right.
So you're gonna walk up the stairs and walk to the right, and that would be the patio. And if you walk to the left, you can go into the storage area, and then that'll be the garage. The reason the garage is at that point there because of the coming up the driveway. Further over, it would be hard to get into the garage.
So the garage is lower than the house, yeah, and
Yes,
and the patio is level with.
the patio's
walking.
level with the upper level of the because we're on a hill.
So you don't have, though, a plan that shows the house in relationship to the garage? Is that correct?
Do you see the screen that's being shared in?
It's just that site plan, and that's the only
Yeah,
thing.
no, I know, but you don't
Yeah,
have
but
an
if you look on
elevation.
if you look on A3, that'll show the bottom right corner. As it was, stop right there for a second. No, if you go back up a little bit, that is the garage, and that's where the patio is going to be right there. And if you go down further, A3, bottom
No,
right
I
corner.
understand that. I was just wondering if you have an elevation of the house and the garage.
You mean, no, I don't. If you go down to A3, down a little further down.
Did you draw any
Right there.
architectural elevations of the house?
That. Sorry. Did you hear that? that is between the garage and the house, that's a retaining wall. So it's right there, you can see the height of the difference between the backyard and the front. We're on a big hill.
I think what you're asking for, Ann, is an elevation that shows the house and the garage in the
Yeah.
same image.
Yes.
Right?
Because it is detached, but it's got this wall that's connecting it, you know? So it almost feels like one piece.
Looks like you're trying to do that. I mean, they're trying to use
No, I'm trying, well, because off of the house itself, they have a stone wall right now that's existing, that's all falling apart.
No, I
So,
understand all that. I
right, so
just
we're
wanted to see what the house looked like, you know, in
right, we're trying
relationship
to
the
keep the
garage.
retaining wall there, and then from that point on, then that's where it would be.
You see the other elevations, please, Daisy? You scroll. No, you go back. You missed it. You passed it. I'm sorry. You're right there. If you can get that whole page on that.
Right.
Ah, sorry.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, I mean, I think it looks very nice. It would be if you came back to this board likes to see an image of the house and the garage in the same image so we can see how it relates to it. But I think it looks nice.
I mean, I think the structure itself looks nice. I just, you know.
And the windows and
But I have a question for you. What would make the thing, or you're telling me that by seeing if the garage went to the left 2 feet or to the right 2 feet would make a difference? Because I can't go any further.
No, what we want to do is we'd like
not
to
at
see
all.
a graphic image with the garage in your house. Like if you stood in front of it, you'd see the composition. We'd like to see that composition.
And how would that change the drawing? Am I changing what the design is? I'm not understanding the composition of, if you go back to the actual real photograph of the house, I'm matching exactly what the house looks like. So I'm not sure what you're asking.
In reviewing the architecture, we would generally like to see the house, the existing and the new in the same image so we can see how it looks together. Now we're looking at a separate photograph and an architectural drawing of the garage, and we like to see the context together. But if the materials are all the same, I'm comfortable with it, but I'm saying if you were to come back to this board, one of the rules is we want to see the full elevation of the entire composition.
So you want on one drawing, you want to see the garage in the left and you want to see where the house relatively is to the right of it.
Correct.
Yes.
That's what we always do.
Ideally, that's what we would like. I think we're all comfortable with the design that,
I mean, it's
that
mimicking the house.
we'll
So
pass. No, we understand that. We understand
Right, I
that.
mean-
But you said the heights are different. You just want to see the whole, I mean, I think it benefits you too. You'd like to
where's
see
the
the
roof
whole
line of the-
scope,
Right. Where does the roof line of the house fall in relation to the roof line of the garage? We don't know that.
Right. Right. I mean, it's definitely going to be, well, it's going to be lower than the roof line because my house is 2-story and this isn't, full 2-story up. So it's definitely going to fall lower than that. Will photographs work also you need? I mean, you have a photograph of the house. I don't have any other photographs that shows that particular area.
So guys, I'm comfortable. It looks like he's doing a very nice job and using.
I'm
these
comfortable.
Yeah,
materials.
we were
I'm-
just talking about the
I'm
next
comfortable
time
with
you
it.
come, if you come another time, that we would like to see a more comprehensive drawing, but we're going to approve you today.
We would
Okay, I
like to see
appreciate
this
that.
elevation and then your elevation of the garage to the left so we can see the whole composition.
Right. I hope I never do any more work after that. I want to get my junk out of my house and put it into a garage. So the drawings are approved for the design?
Yes.
Yes, they are.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much. So this way I can
Okay.
hopefully build in the summer.
Okay, Rob, you're all set.
All right. Thanks, Daisy.
Have a good
Thank
night.
you.
Appreciate it.
All
All right,
right.
bye.
Right.
Bye-bye. Okay, all set.